What's good with it? It's your boy, Simon Phoenix. This is Shots Fired. What up? What up? What up? So, as we slide into another fun filled, action packed show, you know your boy, I'm always digging off into my magic bag. Had to figure out what I was going to talk about. But I had got a couple of emails of, hey, we would like to get a couple more relationship based type shows. So I was like, who I'm going to pull out the bag for that type of shenanigans. And I was like, you know what? I'll holler at Vesta. She's always a good person to have on and has great insight. So what's good with you, Miss Vesta?
Hey, Simon. I'm good. Just living life and trying to make it work.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I know how it go. Everybody on their grind trying to get it. You know, we trying to get to the money.
Always. Always got to get to the money.
Yeah, you know, we got to get to the bag. That's how it be. Got to get to that paper. You know, we got bills to pay, as they say.
Aiming to have a better life, a good life. You feel me?
I do. I do. I definitely feel you. So, kind of some of these kind of questions, kind of interesting. I've had some people ask me, they want to know these answers. I'm just gonna ask the question, bounce it off of you. You know, I'll answer it as well, and we'll go from there. So, one of the questions is, why do we have insecurities with loss of identity? And so, I'm thinking they mean like loss of identity within the relationship. Is so that's gonna be my guess. So that's where I'm gonna go with it. So I pose that question to you.
Okay. So, loss of identity within a relationship. So, I mean, how can I put this? So, I feel like when a person gets in a relationship, sometimes they get into the relationship and forget about their own happiness. They become more involved in what the other person is doing, and they kind of forget about their self. I feel like a lot of times um, I feel like a lot of times when we get lost in that, um, we just, it's hard to find ourselves, our way back to who we are.
Okay. So do you mean like people who change within the relationship to make the relationship better, so to speak? Like they're not being their true self, so they make concessions within a relationship to make the relationship work. And then once they're out of that, they can't go back to who they originally are. Is that what you mean?
I feel like what I'm saying is that a lot of times, like for women, when we get into things, when we get into relationships, we kind of change for the man, for what the man wants, and like at times, we cater to their needs. We forget about our own needs. Forget about who we were before we even got into the relationship. Not saying that we're not that catering type of woman before we got into that, but I feel like we kind of aim more for, the man's happiness than we do ours at times. I mean, it could go both ways though, so it's just not, women losing their identity. I feel like men lose their identity as well.
I don't really think people lose their identity. I just think you are a different version of yourself, and you never can really go back to the person you are. Like every experience builds a new version of you. So like look at it like this: like who you were in junior high was totally different than who you were in high school. Who you were when you got out of high school was different than who you was in high school, so on and so forth. Each major thing in your life built a new version of who you are. And so you'll never really go back to a previous state, in my humble opinion.
Mm.
I mean, personally, I feel like I've changed throughout my life based off of the women I've dated. And so each one of them got a different version of Simon. Whereas from the first person who dated me to the last person that dated me, I'm probably a totally different human being. Just straight up and down. So, I mean, or let me ask this. Do you mean in a way where it's detrimental to yourself? Is that where you're trying to go with it without saying it?
Um, no, I just, I watch women and who they are before they're with people,
What do you
and then
mean
I see.
by, so let's break down each point then. So what do you mean by who they are?
I feel like when they are in a relationship with a man, they become this person, so they can make the man happy.
So what do
But
you
then when
mean?
they get out,
So I'm trying to get you to specify when you say they change or they become this person. What do you specifically? What are they doing? Because if you're saying this, right? If you're trying to
mhm,
avoid saying that she becomes a woman that is more in her feminine energy, so she's more nurturing, she's taking care of more of household things, and it has to do with revolving around the man that she's with currently. If you're speaking about that based against the other end of the spectrum, saying that before she was assertive, she hung out, she kicked it with her girls, she was telling you about plans of her grand scheme to make money or to build a business or something else, then my thinking to you would be this: the reason why those people change is because for women, when you get with a man, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, women find their pleasure in helping their mate. And so you can't spend half your energy helping your mate and half your energy trying to build an empire. You know what I'm saying? Like most people are just going to dedicate their time to one thing and one thing only.
right.
So it's like if you're a man, you can't be a caterer if you're trying to build an empire. Not to say that you can't be kind and do the right things and be sweet and have another person's uh position and what they're thinking on your mind to make it better for them. Not saying that, but just saying, like, if you're a dude and you're like, hey yo, I'm trying to figure out how to move from this house to this house, and we need to make this much money to do it, and I got to figure out a plan to make that happen. So I need to do this and this, right? He's not gonna have the same energy as a dude that has his plan already running, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm bored this week. You want to go and just do pedicures and chill? You know what I mean? Like your energy is going to be placed in a different space. So I think for some women, they will get into a relationship and they will get into the space of nurturing, and then that will take a certain amount of energy. So she's not maybe as assertive or as fun, for lack of a better word to say, when it comes to the outward world, because what she was doing before isn't the same.
I feel like women lose their identity at times though, because how can I put it? I feel like they lose their identity sometimes because after they're with a man, I feel like certain men kind of change who they are, because like they do this for a man, and they try to make them happy. But then at the same time, like the man is not willing to, how can I say, compromise and put their effort in. And then when things are said and done, then the woman goes off to being upset, mad, and out of character.
That's more of a emotional thing. Like that's purely emotional. So that's not necessarily truly a true change. That's just your emotional feeling after being a breakup. Now, if you want to get into that, then there's really nothing to say about that except for how a person takes a breakup. Like,
Women are emotional creatures, though.
right, but within the equation of being emotional creatures, you're asking the other half of the equation who is not emotional, who's logical, to be emotional. And so men are equipped with a certain amount of empathy, and as humanity is set up and we view it, right, like the roles we're supposed to play, all the bullshit that come along with all of this stuff, that men are going to have a certain amount of empathy, but women are like, we want more empathy from you. And men are like, well, I'm not necessarily wired like that. I'm wired to give you the answer. Now, if you don't like the answer, I'm sorry. And so then it's like, well, there's no happy medium within either or, because there's just as many men who've had their hearts broke and looked at crazy after dealing with women. Like, women aren't the only people being burned in relationships, even though the conversation normally steers in that way, that men are villains because on your side you date us, so therefore when it's bad you feel like it's on mandem, and men on our side, when we date y'all, when it's messed up, we feel like it's on y'all. Because most of the time in either group, we don't want to be accountable for our shit.
I wouldn't know about that because I always take accountability for my bullshit.
I'm not saying you personally. I'm not pointing the finger at you. You know what I mean? I'm just saying from a point of view of just a lot of times when we have a conversation and we get off into women and their emotions, a lot of times it's based on the fact that they haven't even taken accountability yet. Because that changes your emotional core. When you're able to look back, like, right? Like, a lot of us can look back like 3-4 relationships and look at that differently than when we came directly out of the relationship. We had different views of it over time based off of our ability to take accountability for the shit we did. Like, sometimes you don't know you're being a jerk until you look back. That's why they say hindsight is 20/20. So, I mean, that's just my take on it. I'm not saying I'm right by any means. I'm just saying that's my take on it.
Gotcha.
So, let me ask you this. Another question was, do we attract who we are? What's your take?
My take is, I want to say that at times we do attract who we are. Not always, but yeah, at times we do attract who we are.
So, if we attract who we are, do you think that's a good or bad thing?
I think sometimes it could be a bad thing. Sometimes it could be a good thing.
Is that based off where you are at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I always had this thing where I believe that opposites attract. You know, like for myself, like I'm a working girl. I work a 9 to 5. I've dated men that have businesses and they own their businesses, and I watched them, and they were different than me. The way that they thought and everything was different than the way that I thought. Am I comfortable where I'm at financially? No. Do I want to do the things that the people that I've dated are doing? Not necessarily. If they needed my help, would I help them? Yes, I would help them. But I just feel like sometimes opposites attract. You're not always like that person. So,
well, I believe there's such a wide variety of those of us in society and humanity that I don't really think opposites attract. It's just that there's so many variations that they're not going to be like you. Like, working a regular 9 to 5 is like one level of how we are in humanity, but that's not to say that you take the other variables and you add them up. So it's like, oh, they work a 9 to 5, but they write poetry and it's in the hip hop and like old school jazz. Well, then they're making that group smaller than where you are class wise, because that's not necessarily an opposite. That's just saying where you are economically. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Like, like, so, like from an economic point, maybe for how you just explained it to me, that should be the norm and shouldn't make you feel out of place anyway. Like I said, women normally date up. So you were doing what would be natural for most women. And the reason why women date up is because women are naturally attracted to alpha traits. Because all alpha traits in nature says success in breeding to the next generation. So from a nature point of view, that's why I believe that women always are looking to date up anyway. Because it makes logical sense. So you don't want to date the person that's not getting to the next level. That's you going for the person that's going to the next level. That should always be in play. I think the question more is asked like, do you attract who you are? Like, I think it's more of a like, do you attract who you are when you're an asshole? You wind up dating assholes. When you're a pushover, you wind up attracting pushovers. I think that's more where the question was going. So, from that point of view, what's your answer? I'm gonna start playing the Jeopardy music for you in a minute.
There's times, no, there's times actually, there's times that I've seen myself in other people. Yes, I've seen myself in other people. So yes, I feel like I attract, who I am at times. I do, you know, um, I do.
Gotcha, gotcha. Uh, yeah, I think that's a trait that you do accidentally. I think that things that are like come together, even though they're not, sometimes good will be will be what I would say. Like sometimes when you're in a dark space, you don't want to date someone else that's in a dark space. That's not very good for anybody. And I think that is probably why a lot of times you have bad relationships. Just in the place where it's people in bad places, and then they wind up dating people while they're in a bad space, and then that just doesn't work out for anyone. Would be my opinion. So let me ask you this: um, Have you ever had it where it was attraction for the outward things that are great for you? So, like personally, have you ever ran into poets that you thought were really sexy, and you got a chance to date them, and it wasn't a horrible experience? You know what I'm saying? Or you got a chance to kick it with them, and you was like, I like that vibe.
Um, have I dated any other poets?
Yeah, like have you dated any other people that was a poet, or that they were a musician, or they were in the space of artistic beings. How about that?
I haven't really. I mean, I guess if you would call a musician a poet, then yes. But I haven't just dated someone that was a poet, not like myself. No,
Okay. What about writers?
of course,
So
yes, I've dated writers,
okay.
musicians, people that wrote their own music. Yes, I have. Um, was I into it? Was I into them? Of course, I was into them. I love the vibe. Because I love music as well. I'm in the music industry, or I was in the music industry as well. And so, yes, I did enjoy it. The vibe was great.
I
but
see.
it didn't always work out the way that I wanted it to work out,
Right, right.
because our mindsets were two different mindsets, what they wanted is not what I wanted. They wanted the fame. I didn't want the fame. I wanted to be heard. The fame wasn't something that I too much cared about, though.
I can understand that. Definitely, I can understand that.
So our minds were in two different places, and I just wasn't feeling that part of it.
Got you. And I can see where you're in a space where you're like, I want to do this level of behavior, and then the other person is like, no, I don't want to do that. And you're like, nah, that's not gonna work. This is not
Yeah.
this is not gonna work. I got you. Yeah, I got you. I totally understand that. So how about this? How about we take a quick commercial break, and then we come back, and then I'll ask my next question and sneak my bogus question in, and then I'll let you go. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. What your boy used to say on the dating show, in 2 and 2. Stock the bar vodka made right here in Michigan. Distilled from Michigan red winter wheat. The red winter wheat provides this drink with one of the smoothest flavors known to man. Stock the bar vodka, premium quality. Our motto is smooth taste with a purpose. And now, the official sponsor of Shots Fired Podcast. Stock the bar vodka. Pour up a glass. Drink with a purpose.
Yeah, you know what it is. Shots Fired Podcast popping.
Hey, are you tired of having that upset stomach, that bubbly guts feeling? Then I need you to get with Tyrone's Gas X. That's right, Tyrone's Gas X is known to stop upset stomach, farting, wet farting, hard farting, bubble guts, squishy guts, and the runs. Please use as directed. Side effects may be hair loss, weakness of jawline, weakness of pull-out game, lip dick, and pimples. Tyrone's Gas X. Stop you from having that shitty feeling.
Welcome back to Shots Fired with Simon Phoenix.
Yo, it's your boy Phoenix, kicking it with my girl Vesta, having a little bit of relationship conversations. I should have hit you with the lovely Miss Vesta. I'm slipping. I get my game together. I'm slipping. So, my next question is this. It says, why do women dress sexy and know that they are going to get a certain amount of attention, and some of that is the predators? So you have the floor.
Why do women dress sexy?
Mm-hmm. To attract men, knowing that they're also going to attract a certain amount of predators.
Well, it's attention seeking, But the funny thing about women, or some women, is that they this is for myself being a woman. This is what I don't understand. Like, it's almost like I understand that women, they basically sexually supercharged men, and then they get this amount of attention, and they're like, why am I getting this attention? And sometimes it's like so negative. So they're like, oh, why is he following me? Or why is he looking at me? Well, like, duh. Like, look what you have on. Isn't this like the attention that you wanted to have, that you wanted to get? So what's the problem now? And it's attention seeking. That's just all it is. It's just attention seeking.
Okay. So because they're attention seeking, right? Then they should be aware of the pluses and the negatives of the situation, right? That's what we're saying.
Correct.
Okay, so if that's the case, if that's where we are, then I, for one, look at them and laugh and be like, what's the problem? Exactly how you took it is how I would take it. I laugh. As a man, I normally make jokes about it. Like, I always made jokes like if I was in the club and a chick had big boobs and she walks by and I'm looking at her big boobs and she got a low cut shirt on and then she catch me looking and then she make the line, what you looking at? I'd be like, yo, gigantic boobies. They're beautiful. They're lovely. They're gorgeous. My bag. I'm sorry for looking. I thought that's what you had them on display for. They look delicious. Right? That's how I do it. That's where I come from. And then they normally laugh and walk away because I didn't deflect it with some pervy goofy shit to call her out on it. Like, boo, you got them out. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy to you, but you do have them out. I'm going to look, right? And so I normally laugh like when I see them altercate with other men and they be mad about it. Why you looking at my titties? Damn. What the fuck is you doing? Why you mad at him? Because you got him out. Got a whole bustier on, boo. What is you talking about? Okay, my bad.
Like, that's the point, right?
Yeah.
That's the point. You want everybody to see, right?
Exactly.
So why are you mad now? Because you're the one that wanted everybody to see. So now everybody's looking because that's what you wanted. You get your titties done for what? Just so you could sit up in the mirror and look at yourself in the bathroom naked? Or you get them done so you could get out here and gain some attention, like you're in the traction, right?
I would say yes. I hope not, though. But yes, that's what. Like from a male point of view, if you're a halfway decent male, you just try not to overly be leery and stuff. But you automatically know in the back of your head, you like, I'm assuming you did it, so I would look. It's
So
equivalent
honest,
for men. It's the equivalent of you ever as a girl, you see a man coming towards you, you coming towards him, y'all gonna pass each other, right? You think he's slightly cute,
right?
So while you're walking towards him, you make slight eye contact and then you keep going, but you know he's going to take a peek at your butt, so you put your switch game in action. That to men is the same thing. Like, you know I'm going to look at your booty and you're going to switch for me just to make it nice. That's the equivalent of the attention seeking most of the time. Like, we all know what's going on, but when you complain, then it sounds crazy. Just my personal opinion. I may be wrong.
I agree. No, I agree. No, being a woman, I agree. So when I hear other women say that, like other women say, I do this because it makes me feel good. Well, you do it because it makes you feel good, but you also do it because you want other people to see how you look. That's just the way it is. That's just how it's always been, you know? So that's just what it is at the end of the day.
I mean, I think women are smart enough to know that men are visual and they do things to be visual for men, and then they say it makes them feel good. And for some women it does. I'm assuming. I'm not a woman, but I'm assuming that I'm sure for some women you get a sense of it feels good to go and get a pedicure. It feels good to go get a manicure. It feels good to get your hair done. I'm assuming those tasks are pleasure for women, right? That they're a pleasurable experience. So being that, and then you say you do it for you, yes, I believe you. I'm with you. I'm not saying that, right? But I'm also saying as a dude, like, if you had a problem and you needed to get boobies, who am I to say anything, right? Like, you know, you had something happen and you needed boobies. I totally get that. As a man, I totally get where you say, hey, my boobies are a little saggy. I had to fix that. Okay, I got you. You don't want saggy boobies. You middle age. I got you, ma. I ain't tripping, right? But when you're the girl, when you have perfectly fine boobies and you go and get the stupid dumb boobies, then I'm like, you did that so people would look at them. That's not the, hey, my boobies was I lost a lot of weight. I lost the mass in my chest, and so I needed to get that fixed. That makes sense. Or hey, I had cancer. They took a breast. Hey, I got they put maybe some new ones. That makes sense. Hey, they were saggy. I got you. But when you went and got the, let me go get them triple D F80s. What? Wait, what? You was just a B cup. Do what you getting? All right. You want us all to see. I got you. I mean, that's kind of the viewpoint of it. Is like you did it for the attention. So you of all people don't have a right to complain.
Now, I'm saying if you go and get a rack done, if you go and get your rack done and you are showing them off because you like the way that they look and you want every man around you to look at them, and then you want to turn around and say, why are these men looking at me? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know. I was trying to give them an out so nobody would be mad at me because I covered my bases. I was doing my best to cover my bases so I wouldn't be a jerk. Like, I'm trying to say all the loopholes is in there, ladies. I'll give you all the loopholes it is. I don't want you to call me or inbox me and cuss me out. Like, yo, you can have any loophole you need to get you some boobies. I was just saying, when you do get the boobies, right? If you got the triple 84B deluxe fireman carry titties, don't be mad at me if I look. And if you're out here with your new perky boobies and you got your super low cut shirt on, don't be shocked that we look. It is what it is. You showing it off, we gonna look. You did that so we would look. You can't be mad over that. I'm a man. I'm visual. Some nice boobs walk by. I'm looking. If a nice
I'm
ass
saying
walk
if
by,
you got
I'm
your
looking.
ass, like not even your chest size, but like even like if you got a pair of shorts on and your ass is hanging out the bottom of your shorts and you're walking around like, why are they looking at me? Why are they staring at me? Why are they trying to talk to me?
Because your booty is out and you look like a cupcake. Your fault.
Like your ass hanging out of your shorts or whatever, and the whole world can see it. So that's why everybody's looking. That's why you got men standing behind you trying to talk to you, but then you're like, why are they trying to talk to me? I mean,
your
that's
ass
why.
is out. You look like a cupcake.
That's why. You're showing them everything. Now they want to know. Now they want to know.
Now they curious. Now they're
curious. Yeah, like now they want to know, and that's what I'm saying. Like women sit up here and they wonder why men act the way they are when in society women have sexually supercharged men to be this way.
I mean, I do feel charged up all the time based on what y'all look like. I don't look. Here's the thing, right? For a man, it's more funny than anything else based off the fact of, and one voice you're telling me, hey, respect me, respect my mind, respect what I'm doing, respect how I act, but I'm gonna wear this outfit. And so Dave Chappelle makes a joke about, looking like dressing in the uniform of someone and then complaining when they come up to you based off what you're dressed up like. Like if you're dressed up like a fireman and someone says there's a fire down the street, you can't then turn around and cuss them out based off the fact that you're dressed like a fireman, right? So if you are dressed like a freaky deaky chick and then people address you as a freaky deaky chick, you can't complain to us because you're dressed like a freaky deaky chick. And we always having the same conversation a lot of times. A lot of times it just comes down to accountability. You gotta be accountable for that shit. And most of the regular people with a little bit of common sense is just like, I don't want nothing to do with that. That sounds dumb. Like, you sound dumb over there. Like, you have your boobs out,
what it is,
and you mad that people are doing that. You mad at your attention.
But this is what it is, though. And this is what women don't say. No, we want you to look, but we want who we want to look at us. You get what I'm saying? That's what women fail to not say. Like, it's okay if you look, but it's not okay if you look because I don't want you.
Well, that's not my fault. I can't control that. I don't care about your feelings on that. Please move along.
But you understand what I'm saying?
No, yeah,
right?
exactly. I totally get what you're saying.
Women don't say that though. Like women won't just come out there and say that though. Like if you're prancing around on social media half naked, you got a million men looking at you, staring at you,
but
moving around.
All the bum broke dudes gonna get cussed out.
You know,
that's what you're telling me.
Yeah,
all the bum broke dudes gonna get cussed out for commenting about.
Yeah, you know, like that's what you're really implying. Don't say you don't want men to look at you, because you want men to look at you because you're putting yourself out there like that. But what you fail to tell them is
top 15%
all the guys
only.
that I want, it's okay if you look at me, but if you're not the type of man that I want, I don't want you looking at me because now you're a creep.
Man, that's
you're looking at me and I don't want you to look at me, but I want this certain type of man to look at.
Top 15%. You know what it is. The top 15%. It's just bogus that in reality that most women aren't going to admit it, and that it's just a travesty for men that most of the time no one's going to talk about. That men are taking the short end of the stick of this whole thing when it comes down to it. But unfortunately, women don't even see it like that. So, you know, it just is what it is. At the end of the day, if they're going to complain, I'm just going to chuckle. Like, you complaining means nothing. It's just noise in the wind. We don't care over here.
They see it all the time, though. Like,
I know they do. I see it.
He was staring at me and he was following me around the store, and I had this like outfit on and da 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 da. And it's kind of like, well, don't you expect that you're gonna get that type of attention?
No,
of course he's gonna follow you around the store. He's hoping that something else falls out.
No, because based on how society is, that, like I said, she doesn't have to take accountability for we're supposed to protect her as a society to keep him from being creepy, because nobody likes the creepy dude. This is really all this boils down to.
Women have to protect themselves.
Well, I know this and you know this, but there's women that's like, no, I want to protect myself. The fuck? What you think the police is for? I want to do what I want to do. This is the whole conversation. The whole conversation is based around I want to do what I want to do. And who says that, children? We all got some type of rules. Even if they're societal rules, we have rules that we have to follow. They just are what they are. But we live in a time and age where people are going to do that, right? They're going to complain that the creepy guy was following them around, but they was falling out their outfit. And then we as society going to react to the creepy guy, and we going to lock him up. And we're going to say, that's good. I'm always scared that tactic can be used in such an evil way so easily by women that you get guys that aren't creepy locked up. And that's what makes it scary for me as a man.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Women don't understand, though. Sometimes, and it shouldn't be like that, but it is. That's the way that's what's in society, though. You see, you attract a certain type of man, and then when you attract that certain type of man, because if you're dressed a certain type of way, and I'm not saying that it's okay, but it is what it is at the end of the day. If you walk outside of the house with a halter top and your breasts are hanging out, you're walking out the house in your shorts and your bum is hanging out the bottom of your shorts, what type of individual do you think you're going to attract?
In their mind, they hope they're gonna attract the 15%.
You're gonna attract certain types of predators. That's just what it is. You're gonna attract certain type of predators.
I mean, yes, that would be one of the things you would attract. I mean, let's keep it real. You're not just gonna attract predators, but you are gonna attract clowns and weirdos. So
correct.
So even if you being honest, you're going to attract a certain amount of the negative in that equation. No matter how you see it, they're going to attract some of that negative based on
If
that
you're
you're dressed like
selling
that.
sex, if you're selling sex, walking out of the house a certain type of way, and you're basically selling that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying being a prostitute or anything like that, but when you're given that type of image and you attract the person that's preying on you because of sexual things and sexual desires,
Well,
it's because they see.
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
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 go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. What I was gonna say is like everything you're saying is right, but you are speaking from, how could I put this? I'm gonna just be a dirtbag today. You are speaking way more from I have a set of morals and accountability viewpoint of it. That's why I always say it breaks down to accountability, because morals make you accountable, and people telling you what the outcome really is going to be will make you be accountable. And if you had it happen to you or seen it firsthand, will make you start being accountable, right? So when you are a person out here and doing a certain amount of stuff, i.e. the conversation you're talking about now, being women who will dress a certain kind of way and then complain, like I said, they're viewing it from the point of view that society is going to be there to correct the other individuals. It's a do what I want, because someone's going to be there to protect me from the negatives. And therefore, hopefully, I will get more positives based off this. You know, and it's unfortunate that we live in an internet world now where women can have so many different vices to feed that logic, because you're still looking from it. Me and you are having a conversation from the old school way of looking. And so the generation that is under us is dating and moving in a way of, hey, you know what? I don't even meet chicks. I'm on Tinder and Bumble and Plenty of Fish and christianmingle.com, and I like old ladies with big booties. Swipe to the left, right? And so then chicks are getting on here, and then they'll put a cute picture up, and then they'll just let a whole bunch of dudes just like the picture and diss them, because that's that attention. I'm going to put thirst trap pictures up. That's that attention. I don't want none of y'all. I just want y'all to want me. That's that attention. I'm gonna start an OnlyFans account, and you can look at my toes. I want that attention. All of that stuff is set up to feed off of simps, to give that group of women a false sense of value, and then it's perpetuated. And then regular people with a little bit of morals and common sense be looking at all of it like there's some crazy stuff. Like me and my man was just talking about how OnlyFans went from all the thoughts was over there making money being thotty. And they were selling a little bit of everything from said mentioned toes pictures to actual sex. And then OnlyFans was like, yo, we trying to get some investors, so we about to cut all the freaky deaky out. Take that. Now they like, wait, what? I was making a killing out of here off shoulder pics. What are you talking about? I was killing them out here. I was doing a pinky toe once a week. They was own it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's a thing now. I mean, I guess it's been a thing for a long time. But
I mean, it's all look. The difference is this. This is what women like you don't understand is the majority of mandom is not getting sex. The majority of middle mandom is not getting sex. And so because they're not, they're the group that's being preyed on. That you have a large group of women selling the idea of sex in some shape, form, or fashion to these guys at all times. And then because you have so many women at a high level selling men sex, right? So you got women that are singers, rappers, tennis players, track stars, NBA players, actresses, news anchors, everywhere, the whole nine. So if you get all of those in a bubble, and they're all selling me sex in some shape, form, or fashion, and then you have regular women trying to compete with that level of attention because they want attention too. So then you have fake people now, where we call them, you know, Twitter influencers and whatnot. You got that group. They're all selling sex in some shape, form, or fashion. They're always dialed up. They're always with their bodies out. You got men getting blasted with all of this stuff, and then the regular chicks don't want them. So, talk to me, Vesta. Talk to me. That was a little deep for you. That was a little too deep for you. That's how.
No. I mean, I just kind of look at it like I said, like, okay, maybe my standpoint is different, but I don't know. The way that I view it is basically like, okay, yeah, I mean, I do have some morals and stuff like that I kind of stand by, and maybe I'm a little bit more different than, than these other women. But
that's what it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I just know what it is,
Like I
can't fake it.
Yeah, like I told you. Really, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That those are women who desire attention, so that's why they do it. They don't want the negative effects, but they still want the attention. And so, therefore,
well, I feel like it's because we have a programmed society, especially with this day and age. It's programming.
Well, think about it. Like I said, I went on that whole rant is really what it is. Like you're being sold sex at every level, so the programming is you can sell sex and make money off of it, and nobody wants the regular dudes. Like regular dudes, it's because they're not having sex. They're your market. That's all over the world.
But not that many people want the regular woman either.
No, people want the regular woman. The issue is that regular people in real life, when you're talking about like people like me and you and our regular how we move, what happens in real life is when we date people, we're not dating for the right reasons at the right times. We're trying to always fit a square peg in a circle hole. And we be mad that it won't go. And that be on us. And we just don't want to take the accountability for doing that. Because that happens on both sides of the street. As many times as I have had horrible women, as many times as I can say I was a horrible motherfucker on my end. I'm just mad enough to say, I definitely done messed up. I definitely have ruined some chances for some good relationships. It was good relationships I was in, but I wasn't in the right place at the right time to manifest the relationship so it could go where it needed to go. But I'm man enough to say that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of women who aren't woman enough to say that they done fucked up the relationship, or they put themselves so far behind the 8 ball with how their life is set up, where the dudes that would want them, the dudes that will be good for them, she don't want him. She don't like him. She don't like his swag. She don't like his energy. It's a lot of women who don't like regular dude energy. And that be their thing. Like, we like to make jokes about it and shit in regular society, but it's a lot of women who just don't like regular dude energy. And she wants to date above herself. And that gets her into trouble. Because you can't equate the attention that you get with your true value, just like you can't, as a woman, you can't evaluate having sex with somebody who is rich or famous with true value. Just because a person who is rich will have sex with you doesn't mean that they will marry you. Right? And for women, that's the end goal. You want to be married by somebody who is at the situation to take care of you and is good to you. That's what you would like to have. Like I tell women all the time, as a man, the analogy for men in reality for relationships is very, very simple. Most men think they're Michael Jordan. They're looking for Scottie Pippen. That's what they want.
Mhm.
That's truly what they want out of a situation. When you say, I really want to sit the hell down. Now, when you bullshit, like, you know, I know sometimes we some bullshitters. So,
Yeah.
you know, like I can be honest. Yes, I know men are bullshitters. And that just comes with, I always try to explain to women, men are bullshitters based on the fact that the likelihood of getting sex on your end as a man is harder than it is for women. And therefore, men who don't have the verbal skills or the financial latitude, meaning that they have enough money to make power moves, are put themselves in precarious situations to have sex. And that's just what it is.
Oh, but every man that has money, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah,
Men who have
sex might come easy to them, but
Yeah,
not with everybody.
no, I mean,
'Cause
it's
money
never,
ain't-
I mean, that's obvious. Like when women say that, I always laugh. Like, that's obvious. Everyone can't be bought. Okay, that's fine. But there's enough people that if you're a man and you know how to move, it doesn't necessarily mean that you had to buy her. You just maybe had to put her in a situation where she would get down. And that's the difference. Like a smooth brother, like here's the difference, right? A lot of times women equate when men talk about men with money and how they move to buying them. But most men know that there are attractive women that if you had a chance to give her your version of a nice date where money wasn't the objects and you just wanted to go and kick it, that at the end of that evening, based off how fun that would be, you probably could fuck. And women don't pay attention to that being based off of the money. Because a cool guy with money could be like, hey, Vesta, I want to take you out for the day. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to do some activities. I'm going to pick you up about 12. You know what I'm saying? Dress for a casual activity. You say, bet. Now, you think it's just going to be some casual shit. He come scoop you up. He in an old regular degler car. You know what I'm saying? Regular shit. He pick you up. He shoot you downtown. He take you to the chop house. He like, we're going to have lunch, blah, 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 blah. Y'all have lunch, y'all kick it, y'all do the walk around, the bullshit downtown. He like, yo, I got some friends. They on the beach. Let's go there. They kicking it. You get out there. They popping the best drinks. They got the best stuff going on. They got the super nice bonfire. You have a ball. He like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really drunk or nothing, blah, blah, sitting by the fire. He like, my man said they got like 3 cabins out here. We can have a cabin if you like, or I could take you home. There's a lot of women that if the night went like that, he was going to get him some. And his money and connections set that up without him doing anything to be flossy, to be overly. But he was comfortable in his skin. See, money can make you be comfortable to move around how you want to move around. And that in itself is sexy. That you can do what you want to be able to do without answering to other human beings. For women to watch a man move like that, that's sexy. And so when I say men with money and how they move, meaning that when you are in that place where you can move like that, then you will attract more women, and then you can discern women at a different level. There's less things you have to put up with because you have more women coming to you based off of women love
but
that
you
type.
also attract the wrong type of women.
Yeah, but that's why I said you can go through them easier, because based off of what you know and how you move with your money, you don't have to be noticed. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to blend in with 100. If you're a man who makes over 100K, you could easily blend in with every next level based off just trying to blend in and not trying to be flashy. Because it's the ability to do the other stuff that make you get women. So
I understand, but that type of man they attract.
Well, you're still looking at it from a flashy point of view, though. Like what I'm saying to you is that street money is normally flashy, right? And you have dudes that are businessmen, but because of the communities that they're in, they still move like they got street money. So they still moving flashy, right? Then you have guys who are 100% getting to the money with they corny. So the best way, like for my audience, I would be like, there's several YouTubers who, if you go to their show and you watch their show, like there's one dude that he does the phones and he's a black dude and he's just a regular corny black dude. He ain't trying to be hood, he ain't trying to be hard, he ain't trying to be tough, nothing like that. You get no street vibe from him whatsoever. Hey man, that's a multi-million-dollar man though right there. You dig what I'm saying? He getting to the money and he's not flashy. So outside of what he getting on YouTube and that amount of fame, there's only going to be a certain amount of women that's going to know who he is outside of people who would really be fans of him. And when they meet him, he can move just like I just described to you. When you can be a young man and pull up in a Tesla and kick it with chicks, and your conversation is things that you're going to have a conversation with while you're building with them is going to be greater than guys who are like you without you being flashy, without you being like, yo, I got a rollie on and the latest Porsche outside and it's got chrome wheels and it's beating. You ain't got to do all that, right? So he's going to run, not to say he's not going to run into his fair share of women that are bad, but he's going to run into far less than a flashier guy at the same bracket of money. That's what I'm saying to you. So what would you like to end off with, Miss Vesta, so we can take us on up out of here? I know I got to let you go. So how would you like to end off the evening? Or is there anything you would like to ask me or add?
No.
I can't stand you, man. You're not allowed to come on here and be dry. She's like, no, that's it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I griped. I had my gripe. I wish women would stop complaining and doing this. That's what I came on to say. So I said it. Thank you, Simon, for letting me come on your show. It was a good time.
Thank you, Simon. I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're so welcome. So anything else that you would like to say? You have the floor.
No, not really. Nope.
I'd be having the most.
I don't think there's
I'd be
anything
having
else,
the most
huh?
interesting people on my show. She said, "No, not really. I don't have anything
I'm
else to say."
Sorry.
Thanks, guys.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Next time I come.
Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you so much, Simon.
Oh man, giving you a hard time is such fun.
I know. I'm such a lame.
I appreciate you as usual. You know, all I can say is thank you.
You're welcome.
I really do appreciate having you on the show. Especially, you know, I have my moments where I be on my bogus. So, you know, you ain't time somebody come on the show and deal with me and my shit. I'm thankful. So
I appreciate it.
You know,
Thank you.
all I can say is thank you for coming on to the show. We
You're
appreciate it. Oh, here over at
You're
Shots Fired. Thank you very much. Shout out to our sponsors, Stock the Bar Vodka. Appreciate it. And thank you, Miss Vesta, for coming on the show again. Thank you very much. And y'all already know I'm Simon Phoenix. This is Shots Fired. And we appreciate y'all coming to the show. So, as I normally say, you know what it is. I holla. Peace.